one of these days, I will actually remember all of the. One of these days. Oh. One of these days, I will. Helps if I mute that as well. I'll actually remember all of my hotkey settings. So just turn this down, click that, because I keep forgetting more. Holy crap, I wanted to, okay, so I started the stream and I was like, I'm gonna do a post LARPing talk, all that stuff, but before I get into all that, I want to talk about this update. Holy crap. So for those who are joining, who are, coming possibly from to hear about LARP stuff, let me fill you in. There's a video game called Elite Dangerous, space exploration or space sim, all kinds of stuff in it. And I'm on the middle of we'll get to the LARP in just a minute. I want to fill you in what I'm going on here because I want to talk about this first. There's been an update to this game, and I kind of like, oh wow, this is all different. They changed the menu, and this is actually such a better menu than the old one. Oh wow, yeah, okay, so yeah. Void. I mean, all the ships, all the space. Yeah, we're definitely. Oh wow, did we get a texture pass update as well? Neato. So yeah, LARP stuff. I don't even know where to begin. Holy crap, that was an intense game, and since samples give me an idea, so nothing's set in stone for now, but it did give me some more general concepts. I need to at some point. Yeah, those are funny little bobblehead letters that you can buy. They're like $5 in-game things, but what I need to do, Uber, is at some point I need to see, and I need to remake it, but I need to send you my spreadsheet. I actually made a Google Doc sheet. Let's see if I can even find it before we get going here. Google. That was and the reason I need to remake it is because it's missing some skills. But I made a Google Doc that was... There it is. This is what I made. And this is all of the skills you can get in game. My scroll wheel's starting to take a crap out on me. But I'm remaking it because there's a lot of things. They've added a lot of skills, and I want to redo it, and I kind of haven't. But like, you put in your 20 base points, your race points, and how many points you've earned, and then you can, when you like, oh well, I have, let's say I've spent 80 credit or 80 X, it tells you how many. It does a breakdown. It's like, oh, I want to learn how to use a bow and arrow, so I put a 1 in, or no, that is 0. I put I bought that skill. It then should automatically, yeah, there. It tells me, I put it in there. I put the cost, and then it tells me because I fucked up the formula for there. So yeah, that one's screwed up now, but. Let's say I wanted to, yeah, I know. Let's say I want, yeah. And then like I said, I need to update this and update it for my own character because you can see I took a praise and it, and then because this bar up here doesn't move, it tells me how many points I have left to spend. So since the last time I updated this, I played 2 games, so I should be at 46. And so I have 6 CP left, so I can now go down here and actually my gathering, my mining has actually gone up 1. My mercantile has gone up 1. And you can see all this stuff updates. My field repair, I now have 12 of those. And crafting other, where is, oh no, where is armor smithing? And I took Grandmaster Armor Smith. So yeah. This, I mean, I could send you this one, but it's out of date because it's missing. They've added more rules, so I'm actually at 56 points because I haven't updated my character this in a while to match my character sheet. I can send it to you in a little bit, but then I would immediately have to turn on and send you, because that's version 1. I would need to send you version 2, which I haven't finished. It's a little math, but doing that, having that sheet like that, I found really, really helped me make sure that I was doing everything, like that my character was, not only was I able to better keep track of my skills and know what I was buying, but then I could easily, I could see where my points were going and stuff. It made it pretty, it worked for me at least. Alright, back to my game. Well, I mean, and I feel like that auto chat is broken. Yes, it's broken. I need to... But yeah, I don't know. Let me real quick actually do some in-game stuff, and then I can get back to talking about LARP stuff, like asking questions. Let's see, we want to go to the Selden Witch Nebula. So it's going to be our first point we bring up on our galaxy map. Yep, we can do that. How many jumps is it? Oh wow, they even changed this? 39 jumps, okay. They've changed a lot of the menus, and I'm just like, whoa, things have changed. So yeah, at this point, it's like, what do I want to, what do I need to, what should I talk about regarding LARP stuff, you know? Because the Twin Mass game, there was a lot, and I...
Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charging.
It's off. Here we go. Blast off. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, a lot of things happen. Like, there's one thing I have to remind myself constantly with this one character that I run into occasionally is hate the character, not the player. My character absolutely hates his character. Like, there was a legit moment I would have been able to, like, several of the guards were like, if you want to fight him, we'll let you. So his character, so my character's a member of the town guard, and I'm gonna when I say I mean in character stuff. My character, he's he's more of an honorable type person, so he takes being a member of the town guard very, very seriously. And this other character, I don't even know his name. I do, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. I could look it up, but anyways, his character is always insulting the guards and giving the guards a hard time and just talking shit about the guards. And my character really doesn't like that. Okay, why can't I switch weapons? And because my character doesn't like that. There's just a lot of friction, and like at one point, he's like, "Oh, the guard can't do shit," and I'm like, I'm standing right there. I'm like, "Yeah, actually, we can. Why don't you help us out here?" Cancel. And so he's just always giving the guard shit, and then finally, like last game, he was talking some shit, and that's why. He was talking some shit. I'm trying to word this. I'm trying to word it and trying to remember what happened. He was talking shit. I talked shit back. And then he got right in another guard's face, and they were both going back and forth. And the guard's like, he said to the guard, "I will mist you right now," which is basically a threat on someone's life. And the person who he did that to, I'm pretty sure was a knight, which is in town. That's a crime to insult a knight. But I let that go. Yeah, I let that go, but then a few minutes later, like, we were all formed up to go defend everything, and he went to go run off, and I said to him, if he dies, I don't care. Let him die. I ain't gonna worry about him. I'm not saving his ass. And then later I said something very similar to him. I said, I went to go, there was a fight going on, I was running in, and he's like, "Where's the guard to even help?" I'm like, "Right here." It's like, I'm right here. What's going on? And he said, "Oh, by the time you showed up to save the day," and I was like, "You know what? I'm going to save everyone but you." So something like that, and he called me a peasant, and I got really mad. I was in character mad. And two of the other guards, including one of the lieutenants, was there, and I was like, "That guy right there just insulted me. And I'm a person of status." And they're explaining the laws of the town and everything, and even though I'm a person of status, I don't have a high enough status for that to have been a crime. But they're like, they all know that this guy's this character's a piece of shit to the guard, and they know that I could probably kill him. And they're like, "Do you want to honor duel him? We'll back you up if you want to honor duel him." And I'm just sitting there going, "We got too much going on tonight for me to do that, but yes." It's like, I will honor duel him. And I thought I was like, if I was to do that, if I'm gonna honor duel somebody, I'm gonna do it during the day, and I'm only gonna do it until incapacitation, because I'm not a dick that's gonna kill. Like, my character's not a dick that's gonna kill other characters. On the other hand, I did go overkill on killing an NPC, and it was beautiful. Like, my character, if you're a healer, you're his best friend. If you're a healer though, and you're on the other, an enemy healer, give blood to the blood god. If you're, a healer on the other side of the line, I'm going to focus on you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to rip your lungs out, And what ended up happening was this was like a mage or whatever, and he was healing one of the people we were fighting, and me and two other people ended up getting these two people separated. And I focused on that healer, and I kept hitting him, and he no longer had his ally to defend him, and he no longer had his, and his ally no longer had the healer. They were separated, so I'm focusing on the healer. Healer goes down, and when you down an NPC, they're in bleed out. You have to do a killing blow, or else they can be picked back up. So my killing blow was, I had my shield in one hand and my sword in the other, and I just took my shield and went like this, and I pulled it so I wasn't actually hitting him. I'm like, killing blow, crush skull with shield. Killing blow, crush skull with shield. I did it like 3 or 4 times. And just made it look like I was crushing his face with my shield.
Fuel scoping.
And that made me feel better about everything, and then ended up going around for like the next hour telling people I had a white cap skull or white cap brains all over my shield. And I had to walk up to, I was trying to find another character that wanted to kill him and apologize for stealing their kill. I did find that character, but I never had an opportunity to interact with him and tell him that, hey, I stole your kill. Rent-A-Cow, how's it going? I think that's far enough. I'm just gonna take a quick gander at this system, see if there's anything worthwhile here. Doesn't really seem like it, but whatever. And what was nice about this game, this previous game of Twin Mask, was the town has grown so much. There's so many people. My first couple of games, we only really played at the tavern. Like, there was stuff going on throughout the town, but all the NPCs attacked at the tavern. Everyone just sat in the tavern, and so you would spend a majority of your game in or around the tavern. But now, we've got more players and more, it's grown. Because when I started, there was only 80 people. And now it's 200, 300 people per game. And so everyone is spread out, and the people who own the site, because it's a permanent site, they're allowing us to rent more and more of the buildings and utilize more and more of that space. So I spent maybe, in character, maybe an hour in the tavern, maybe less. Whereas, previous games I would spend 80% of my game in the tavern. This game I spent a majority of my time elsewhere. Actually, I spent a good majority of my time in my camp, because I was actually camping in the in-character area. I was camping with all my fellow Vakal. I have not played in so long. It's hard. It's difficult to fly. And my arm still hurts from swinging sword.
Frame shift drive.
Woo, progression. Yeah. When I first started, I would set up my camp on this. Because it's a permanent Ren Fair village that we play in. So they have all these different buildings, and there's this one building that's just a stage. There's an in-camp. Yeah, there's an in-character camp and an out-of-character camp. So the general rule of thumb is if your tent looks like it would be genre appropriate or can be made genre appropriate, you can camp anywhere in the village. If you wanted to, and there's actually specific areas. Can I scoop fuel from here? There are specific camps that get set up for different things. Like if you're a mage, there's actually an area where a lot of the mages go. If you're from Vakal, or if you're from Ur and your nationality is Vakal, there's actually a Vakal little area that we all gather at. The Sake have their own camp area. And these are all like in-game, in-character things, with the exception of inside your tent is considered out of character. So like you can be in your tent and not have to worry about things going on outside unless your tent flaps are open. And then there's another area down just outside of town, and when I say just outside of town, it's the way the town is this long road, and then at the far end of the road there's a big arena. On the other side of the arena, that's where if you don't have a period tent, or you want to have like a more out of character area, that's where it is. And I almost always camp in the in character areas just because it's more fun. And I used to set my tent up on this stage because it was elevated, it was flat, and it was dry. Well, that stage is now used by I forget exactly which camp took over that, which group laid claim to that stage, but they actually put on plays there now. Like it's a whole little performing art thing. Bug bites. So many bug bites. Checked Amazon, but couldn't find a tent like yours. Well, you're not going to find a tent like mine, because I built my own. Where would period comfortable tents be found? What some of the people do is they take just a regular tent and they just put, they get some like canvas, like painter's drop cloth, and they paint stuff on that and drape that over it. Rent-a-car, where are we flying to? We are flying to the Selden Witch Nebula. Flying along in the Distant Worlds expedition here. My tent, though, to make it cost about $80. If you have more money, you can get bigger tents like mine. Actual, like, mine is an inverse, I call mine an inverse A-frame. If you look up Viking A-frame tents, they have the wood on the outside with the canvas on the inside of the frame. Mine is inverted with the canvas on the outside. That's why I call it an inverted A-frame. But a true, like, A-frame tent like that's gonna run you, couple $1,000s. I think Epic Armory, websites like that, Medieval Collectibles, they sell not Epic Armory, but like Medieval Collectibles sells one that is $1,100, but it's, and if you really wanted to, I do have two inverted A-frame tents that I could lend one of them out. The problem is my second one is very small, so you would be sleeping on the ground. You wouldn't be able to fit a cot or an air mattress in it, but I could lend it out if need be. Now we chilling in that OC place shit. Well, so get this. The tent that I have, that I take with me, is big enough I can fit a full-size mattress in it if I wanted to. And when I go solo, I put my cot in there, I put my cooler in there, I put my armor in there, and I have enough room that I can sit on the foot of my cot and get dressed and lay down. But I really can't stand up. In fact, like, to put my pants on, I actually have to lay down on the cot and pull my pants up. How many more jumps we got? 32 more jumps. Now, if I put my full-size mattress in there, it's the same deal where I have to lay down to pull pants up, but the only time I put my full-size mattress in there is if I'm camping with somebody. It's so cool to have a badass Viking tent. Rent-A-Cow, I have... Mine looks like a Viking tent, but it's inverted, so instead of having, like, the arms come up like this, the arms come up and they end like this, and then the canvas comes over like this. I'll post a picture. In fact, I'll do it right now. I thought I posted a picture on Twitter of it, but I didn't. I'm gonna post a... I mean, Uber... Yeah, for those who don't understand what's going on, I stream to both Twitch and YouTube, and so I'm monitoring both Twitch and YouTube chats. I'm going to post the picture I took of my tent. Add location. My tent from last weekend. ENG's twin mask game LARP. You know, is it possible to buy a regular tent that's like a A-frame thing and smack a tarp over it? Is that what you meant? Canvas thingy bean bob? Yeah, Rent-A-Cow, my Twitter at KazakF, I just posted a picture of my A-frame tent. Yeah, actually... I want to say... I mean, it's doable. I've seen people do it. I've seen people throw stuff like that. Do that. I think several of the sake tents are just regular, like, dome tents that they just hang canvas and blankets like, oh, can I grab it? I can't. Here it is. So I have this, I'm going to bury my helmet and mess up my bed. So I have this, you're watching it with a big delay. I have this Celtic knotwork blanket, right? If you had one of those, like you can find those online and stuff. I would try. It depends on if it's a $30 tent. I would be a little worried, but isn't there combat in this Rent-A-Cow? Do you mean in Elite Dangerous Rent-A-Cow by that combat? Because if so, yes. But this is we're on an exploration mission, so this ship is 100% not outfitted for combat. There are no shields, no weapons. But as I was saying, Uber, you could you could get a couple of those even and drape them over, as long as the tent doesn't look. And I would double check with I'm like 90% positive that this is correct in saying this, but putting something like that over to hide the fact that it's a modern period tent or modern tent is enough to make it look more genre specific. How many more jumps we got? 30 jumps. Rent-A-Cow, don't you play Elite Dangerous? Or do I know you from somewhere else? So here's the thing about how is the story in the LARP? There's so many stories. Right now, there's this big, large, overarching story dealing with a clock tower, and I'm not too in on it, so I can't really give much detail about it. But there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of little stories, and one of the ones that I actually got involved with for like one mod, it was just a short little story mod that we did it and it was done, was there were imps were tunneling into the town. And one of the other players happened to, because he was half Fey or whatever. Oh, you play EVE Online, Rentico? I'm going to get to that comment in a minute. I want to finish this story. So, he was able to dig in and get into the tunnels. So about 12 of us jump into this tunnel, and we follow it. And we made... I still don't know if it was the smart decision or the dumb decision, but we sealed the tunnel behind us. And I was the last person into the tunnel. So I sealed it up. We then go through, we fight a bunch of imps. We had to rescue another player who had been kidnapped by these imps. There was this big tree in this cave, whatever. We had to burn the tree down, kill the imps, kill some tree demon deity thing, whatever. And then we had to tunnel our way out. And again, I was the last person. I was defending the rear. That was my job. And me and the other miners were tunneling. Actually, I was on the front because I was one of the strongest miners. We make an opening and we start getting everybody out, and the tunnel starts to collapse. And I'm sitting there at the entrance of the tunnel, like just yelling, like picture like those war movies where like you see the guys jumping out of the plane, and the sergeant's like yelling, "Go, go, go!" That was me. I was yelling, "Go, go, go! Run, run, run!" Just like grabbing people by the back and throwing them out the door. And the staff member running that mod was sitting right there, counting down from like 20. You know, actually they started at they gave us 15 seconds to get everybody out, and we were getting one person out with consent. Well, I mean, I wasn't actually grabbing them, but I was like doing that motion of like pushing them. I was keeping about this much space. I was like going, "Go, go, go!" And I yelled at one person because he tripped and fell. I'm like, "Don't take a nap, go!" They all get out. And like I'm the last person, but the person just before me is at the mark that the staff member has put in the dirt to be the door when they hit 0 and see that the tunnel's collapsed, right? So I'm still inside the tunnel. This person's trapped in the tunnel that's collapsed, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, we all got out." And I grab the attention of the staff member. I'm like, "Hey, I didn't make it out. They didn't. They're telling me that I did. I was still standing here 2 feet away from the line, and that guy right there who you said took damage because he was in the doorway, he made it out. I'm still trapped inside. What happens next?" And they're like, "Well, you see a little bit of an opening, and you can see everybody out there. Try reaching your hand out and see what happens." And so I reach my hand through, and they're like, "You consent to physical roleplay?" And I'm like, "Yes." And they all everybody grabs my arm. They're like, "We gotta pull him free. We gotta pull him free." And they're pulling and pulling and pulling. And I just planted my feet until they actually drug me through the sand, and crossed that line, and then collapsed. I'm like, "Oh, did we all make it out okay?" And they're like, "No, you didn't." I'm like, "But did everyone else?" That was one of the big things. There was one, that was a small thing, but that was one of the things that I got involved with. It was a lot of fun. Alright, we gotta do this thing here. Yeah, Rent-A-Cow, in Elite Dangerous, you can to some degree customize your ship. You can change the loadout, you can change your shields, your power plant, what generates your power, your thrusters, which adjusts maneuverability, the weapons, and even there's different weapon types that do different damage types, and even weapons that are specifically designed for mining. So they're not actually weapons; it's mining equipment. You can change your frame shift drive, which is how you jump between stars. You hear this? You hear
Frame shift drive charging.
you hear frame shift drive charging. That's my warp drive essentially. You can change all these things, and I can even go over here and go to modules, and you can see these are all the different modules.
3, 2, 1.
Let's see. So yeah, I've upgraded. I've changed my thrusters. I've added an auto field maintenance unit. I've added a Guardian frameshift drive booster. I've added a second auto field maintenance unit. I've got a planetary vehicle hangar, which allows me to drive a dune buggy basically. I've got a frameshift drive, which is the highest level one I can fit in this ship. My power distributor is the highest one. Cargo hatch, which you can't really change your cargo hatch. I got the best fuel scoop. I have an okay life support system. And okay sensors, and can't change power canopy. Power plant is the best one, and then these different things here. And all these things, like the power plant, has that little icon, which I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a little icon there, which is just telling me that my power plant has been engineered, which is actually better than what it was when I bought it, because you can actually go and talk to engineers and upgrade different components of your ship. Damn it, you grab I want to see you grabbing. So here's the thing about physical roleplay in Twin Mask. All damn upgrades. Are you carrying a rover to cruise around in? Yes, my planetary hangar has a little rover inside of it. Consent. Hey, you new armor deals. I'm not playing. I haven't played Arma. I've played like a little bit of Arma, but it's just one of those things. It's one of those games I just kind of go. I need to sit down, and when Distant Worlds 2 is done, when I reach Beagle Point, I'll probably get back into trying to play Arma. But when I play shooters, I mostly play Squad.
Frame shift drive charging.
I'm gonna have to take. I haven't really bought any DLC for Arma. It's Cold War, Leopard versus T-55. Now, if I want... Okay, but here's the problem with that. I have Steel Beasts, which does a better job... Which I think would do a better job of... Remind me of the tank game you played... Yeah, that you say Leopard and T-55s. The problem is if I'm driving tanks, I want to drive an Abrams. I need to get some people for Steel Beasts. Because I think that'd be freaking awesome. I will probably take a look at it. My general rule of thumb of buying DLC for a game is I have to have at least played enough hours and enjoyed it enough to make up for the fact that, if I pay $60 for a game, I need to get $60 worth of gameplay out of it. And if I haven't gotten $60 worth of gameplay out of it, I don't want to spend more money on it. And I don't think I've gotten $60 worth of gameplay out of Arma 3 yet to warrant spending more money on it. So probably when Distant Worlds 2 is done, when I get to the final waypoint, that you're telling me that there's DLC that I may be interested in, I will probably go back and take a look at Arma 3 and maybe play it some more and see if there's enough personal interest in that game to warrant playing it enough to even stream it and possibly get that DLC. So I do appreciate that heads up.
Frame shift drive charging.
But as I was saying about the physical roleplay, with consent, of course, but I 100% consent to all levels of physical roleplay. So there's a skill in Twin Mask called sudden motivation, where if you're in weakness, you're too tired to keep fighting, your character's been put into a weakened state, the player can motivate you to get back into fighting. And part of that usually is some sort of physical, abuse. Like the person either yells at you or slaps you around or whatever. And there was one fight where I got put into weakness, but I was also the main tank for this fight. They needed me in that fight. So one of the guys goes up and he's he goes, consent to physical roleplay? Yeah. So he grabs me by the collar of my shirt, pulls me up, and he's like, all right, soldier, I need to get back in there. And he holds his hand up next to my face like he's about to slap his hand to make it sound like he slapped me. And I point at the top of my head. I point right here. And he's like, wait, what? He goes, wait, what do you want? He's like, actually hit me. Hit me hard. And so he slapped me. He actually went across the top of my head. And like, I was like, and jumped right back into the fight. I if people are gonna do physical roleplay with me, I don't mind if like I'm thrown around. That's what I'm there for. I'm there to get beat up and slappy boy. Rent-A-Cow, Armored Squad, both great games. I love Squad, but the problem I have with streaming it is my graphics card is just a little out of date. And so the output of the stream is a little choppy, but I think I might have figured out how to fix it, and so it's one of those things where one of these days I might retry it. Oh, thank God I can scoop fuel.
System scan complete.
Let's sit here and scoop fuel for a minute. I think there was another time where a character asked if I consented to physical roleplay, and I said yes, and he just like grabbed me by the collar of my shirt and was dragging me around. And of course I was an NPC, and I'm yelling like all kinds of obscenities at him, and he just he's like, you know what? Throat punch. And I was like, okay, that's one thing I'm not gonna let you actually do, because that would actually be, cause injuries. And so then I'm sitting there like hacking, like as if I've been punched in the throat. He throws me on the ground, starts stabbing me in the chest with a knife and doing all kinds of stuff, and I'm screaming in pain and agony, and it was the most glorious NPC death I've ever had. My first death is gonna be emotional and sweat, because I'm gonna be a sweet bean, telling people not to step on spiders, tripping yourself to avoid an anthill. Oh, but Twin Mass, but Port Frey has these giant spiders about the size of a human hand that kill people all the time. Although I'm just trying to take care of their families. Although at one point, like I was walking through on my guard duty stuff, and some people were like, "There's spiders, but they're not attacking." They're not attacking, so I like held out my shield and tried to like scoop the spiders up to like take them away from town and release them somewhere safe. And then somebody else came up and killed them, and I was like, "Oh, I was trying to befriend these spiders." Which flies into her face, and she's like, "Fuck it, kill it." All right, feet up. Those are my friends.
Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged. Frameshift drive charging.
LARP, live action. Hold on. Let me finish a bite of food. So, last week, and the reason why I didn't stream it all last week is I went to a LARP event, a live action roleplay. Picture D&D, Skyrim, World of Warcraft, but in real life. And I've got at least one person from one Discord who happens to live in the same area and is probably going to be attending the same LARP. That's Uber Jazer here. That I'm kind of talking to, and I said, well, I'm going to, I do live streams. I do scheduled live streams of playing video games for funsies, for a hobby. I can come on the stream and do a stream where I talk about LARP stuff, and people from that LARP Discord or other communities can come in here and ask questions and figure things out. Hopefully I can get a ride if I don't have a car there. Uber, send me a DM on Discord of your, where exactly you're at. If you are on my way to Twin Mask, I might have room in my vehicle. It wouldn't be the first time I've given people a ride. Although we still have, 2 months, because next game isn't until June? July-ish? Yeah, I think it's July. That's why I'm going to be able to make the next game. That's more than playing D&D. Which one in particular have you seen? Because I know the official D&D channel. Several other people who do that. There was one that was shit. I can't remember what it was. It was like a high school D&D one. Almost every one of those people on that I play with. I LARP with. I should probably... Well, that was covered up by part of my overlays. I forgot that I have overlays turned on. That might actually be out of my way, though. Oh, someone in Seattle? Okay. Because there's Maze Arcana, I think it was? Woodland Hills... Yeah, that's way out of my way. Because I'm coming all the way from Las Vegas, so... Although, you could always post on the Hyper RPG. I don't know those people. But, no, the LARP is actually, it's not sitting around. You dress up in costume, and we have a site that is a permanent Renaissance Fair site. So they have, medieval and fantasy style buildings throughout it. And for the weekend, we go out there and we pretend we have character sheets with skills. But instead of rolling dice to see, all right, well, I hit you for 3 damage, and then I grab some dice and go, I have a sword and I swing it at you, and if I hit you, you take the damage. We actually, swing swords and we fight, and I kept going too hard. I was thinking of asking for carpools in the chat. I think there's a couple people who come from that area as well. You might be able to figure something out. Because my new car, I can easily fit 3 people and all of our equipment in there. The problem is I don't leave until 2 o'clock Friday night or Friday afternoon, and it's a 3.5, 4 hour drive for me. So
Fuel scoping.
but we're in character, and there's a story, but it's a very large story, and then there's little subplots and all these other things going on, and my character really isn't involved in any plot right now, and I'm trying to change that.
Fuel scoping complete.
Role playing in pubs shouldn't be too hard. The problem with that is a lot of these well, I'm not going to say a lot of, well, the one that I go to, they don't allow alcohol because they would need, because it's the Renaissance Fair site is on federal land. So in order to, in order for us to be allowed to consume alcohol, the people organizing the event would actually have to have a liquor license, to my understanding, and they don't have a liquor license, so we're not allowed to consume alcohol at the event.
Frameshift drive.
However, I have gone to other events for other LARPs where we are allowed to drink. And that's always fun. But that's less roleplay and more fighting. And so you walk out on the field with a, mug this big, full of beer, and you down it and then beat everybody up. It's always fun. I'm like, I gotta get another Coke because I'm thirsty, and that can of Coke was actually from 8 o'clock this morning. Is the dwarf role players more in those? So, are there more dwarf players in other words? No, because most that's a tricky question to ask because the twin mask dwarves don't exist, and in Amtgard, because it's less roleplay and more action, you don't really have people necessarily taking on roles and characters. Although there are some people who do sit there and say, when roleplay does come up, they sit there and say, oh, well, by the way, I'm a dwarf. And I have these abilities because I'm a dwarf.
3, 2, 1.
But as far as anyone knows, dwarves do not exist in the Twin Mask world. Although it's been hinted that they might. It's one of those things that, they probably don't, but maybe they do.
Fuel scoping. System scan complete.
I opened up that can of Coke at 7 o'clock this morning, drank half of it, left it at my desk, and went to work. And then I forgot about it.
Fuel scoping complete.
And yeah, Uber Jazer is new to, at least I'm pretty sure she's new to Twin Mask. I don't know what her LARP experience is outside of that. But I had oh, new, okay. And so I also have some ideas. I don't have any character. I don't have all my character came in knowing nobody in game, right? And so the only ties I have with other characters are ties that I've made since my character entered town. So it's there's my one of my girlfriends is come into game, but her character, my character, don't know each other. In fact, her character hates my character, so we never interact. A couple of my friends, they brought in characters, and our characters didn't know each other, but because we're from the same nationality, we kind of like, we interacted with each other. We started to get to know each other as characters, and so our characters are kind of our friends, and we spend time, we do stuff together. But one of the premises of the Twin Mask universe is you write your character, and you start playing that character after they died. You actually write your entire character story from, you don't have to write the whole story, but basically you start off dead. And your character is brought back to life from any point in time. It could be, well, the game rules now specifically state within the last 100 years, but before that you could have been, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. I think there was actually one person who I think their character was from the dawn of time. So they were essentially a nationless caveman. But and the whole premise is, your return to life. And so one of my thoughts was, I want to, have characters that maybe I knew in the past, in my character's past life, enter the game. And what I was thinking is, if I were to do that, Uber's new, if her character were to somehow know my character and come into game, then I would immediately be a person that could, give some roleplay with. I mean, I know there's a lot of other people in the game who would probably be a lot better for that. But it would at least... it would be at least interesting, especially since I have... there's a positive and a negative, right? The positive spin is, her character, my character may have been friends, or maybe her character knew of my character. We met, maybe we were drinking buddies or something, right? For whatever reason, we had positive interactions with each other and we were friends. Or, before my character died, he did a lot of really terrible things. He went around and killed a lot of innocent people, right? Uber Jacer's character could have been one of those people one of those innocent people that I killed. And so she could come into game and immediately have an enemy. Like, oh shit. Which would be even greater, because my character, even though, every character has died and come back to life, my character 100% does not believe that. And the reason is he knows he did all these terrible, terrible things, and he's terrified that if people could come back, if that is true, that people that he hurt, that he wronged, could come back and seek revenge of some sort, or even undermine his status as a good, honorable person. So one of the ideas I had was, if Uber Jacer's character came in as a person that I had killed, as one of my victims, and named me as such, that would be like an interesting, like, oh shit moment. Yeah, that's actually what my character, that's the rough idea of my character, is he's on a redemption arc. Like, he actually got to the point where he was disowned by his family. Like, he has a recurring nightmare where his father's like, you're no son of mine.
Fuel scoping.
Oh my god. I've had to kind of alter it because I ended up changing my nationality at one point, which had like greatly changed my backstory, but still flying to that nebula. Yeah, it's gonna take a little while to fly to that nebula. We got what? 17 more jumps. Yeah, basically, like, the reason why my character, like, there's no, like, our character's brought back to life, but we don't know why. And it's part of my character's reason why he was brought back to life, and he doesn't know it because, again, he doesn't even know that he died. He 100% doesn't. He's heard about it, but it's been explained to him, but he refuses to believe it. And so all he's been trying to do, he knows something's different. Like, he came back and he's like, something feels different. I feel like a great burden has been lifted from my soul, but why? And now all he can think about doing is just being the best, most honorable person he can be to hopefully atone for his sins. And hopefully his father, who he doesn't know that his father's dead because it's been 50 years. He's hoping that his father will be like, I forgive you, you are my son. But his father's dead. So it's like, that's never going to happen. He's never going to get that. The only way that would happen is if the very unlikely event his brother is still alive. He actually did. He didn't wear a helmet, he wore a mask. He wore a very, very distinctive mask, though. That he used to carry around all the time, but then at the last game, he stopped carrying it. And it now just hangs from his tent. Like, the picture I posted on Twitter, I think you can even see it. I'm going to double check my Twitter. I'm putting the picture up right now. Yeah, it's that fox mask right there. Like, that's his mask. He was wearing that when he committed all these crimes and fighting and everything. And there's a reason why he has a mask. And then he carried it around for the longest time. And then back in the February game, he remembered something about his life. And he's like, well, I'm not going to carry this mask anymore, but it still has deep meaning to me. And he leaves it at his tent to kind of mark his tent. But, it's a fox mask. Both of his shields have that fox logo on it. He's got that fox logo on his belt. He's got that fox logo on his hood. So it's like, if your character was one of my character's victims, you would know. You would know. It's like, oh, I know it was you. I know it was you. You did this to me. But then that would mean that we probably wouldn't have. We would always have, like, that could go a lot of different ways. The true definition of triggered. That could go a lot of different ways, though, if you were to do. What does the fox say? I can tell you exactly what the fox says. And this is an actual conversation that I had in game. Scroll. My dick is a penis. That's what the fox says.
Fuel scoping.
I was working in the forge. I was repairing some armor, and I had a hammer going tink tink tink. And it was kind of late at night. I was just starting to hit dumb o'clock, where your brain just kind of shuts down. And I wanted to make a Dr. Horrible sing-along blog reference to Captain Hammer when he's like, and these are not the hammer, and he walks away, and then he just comes back in and he's like, the hammer is my penis, and he walks away. And I kind of wanted to make that reference to be like, because I forget exactly what we were talking about, but I said something along the lines of, yeah, we just got to get more hammers on this. And I wanted to say, my dick is also a hammer, but I ended up saying, my dick is a penis. And then there's that brief moment where I'm like, wait a minute. And like, this was my exact look. I was like, wait a minute. And everyone around me just looks at me and just dies laughing. But as I was saying, like, if you were to do that, if you were to come in as one of my victims, there would be, I would probably end up spending the rest of that game, like, helping you, trying to make up for the fact that I killed you, but at the same time, like, coming to terms with the fact that, oh shit, the dead do come back to life. Because nobody that I've killed or nobody that I've seen die, has come back. Like, every person who I've seen as a returned, as a new player, come in with a new character or whatever, it's like, I didn't see them die, so how do I know they died? But if it's somebody that I did see die or I know was dead, that would be like for my character. He would not know how to handle that. But then at the same time, like, if you came in as one of my friends, like somebody I knew, maybe one of my crew members or somebody I grew up with. Well, if you do, okay, so fractured memory and clouded memory basically means you don't remember anything about your life, right? And it slowly comes back to you. Maybe fractured to have that triggering moment for boo. But I was saying, like, if you came back as, like, one of my friends, maybe somebody I knew, somebody I grew up with, a drinking friend, whatever. Don't mock my gibberish. I was trying to read it. If you came back as one of my friends or whatever, then we could have that immediate positive interaction, and I could, like, oh, I know you. Look at my new friends that I've made. Come meet Muir and his wife. Pet their dog, Careful, he's so lazy he doesn't bite. They have this, there's no pets allowed on game site, right? Because pets can't distinguish play fighting from actual fighting. So what my friend and his wife have, or his character's wife have, is they have a big plush wolf that just sits next to their tent, and it's like their guard dog. What's funny is my one girlfriend, she actually plays a pet. She has an alt. She has a second character that is a half bat fae that was somebody's pet before the character died. And so the character's like kind of, I haven't met that character, but I hear it's kind of a submissive character. Like, it's okay with being pet and played with and hugged and stuff, and like. So here's the story of how I found Twin Mask, right? I've gone to a LARP that's at the same site called DR, and I wasn't really having a whole lot of fun at Dystopia Rising. It just was for me. And while I was at my second game, somebody mentioned Twin Mask. I said, what's that? I'm like, oh, it's another LARP that happens here. So as soon as I got home, I went and started reading up on Twin Mask. I'm like, oh my god, this seems more up my alley. So I said, all right, I'm going to try Twin Mask, and if I don't like it, I'll just stick with DR. I haven't gone back to DR since. It's like Twin Mask is just. On top of that, like, when I play Amp Guard, I already have a Viking persona. I already have all this stuff. Like, I'm part of one of the Ren Fair guilds here in Las Vegas, and so when we have the Ren Fair here, I camp out there for the weekend and drink beer and mead and all that stuff. I mean, there's. Okay, we're just gonna. This is tricky, so stand by.
Warning. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive.
Pull out of it, pull out of it, pull out of it, pull out of it. There we go. Oh, how many more jumps? 12.
Frameshift drive charging.
You'll have a lot of fun because Twin Mask is a very accessible LARP in terms of new players immediately can have an impact in that world. Where some LARPs, like, those are my problems with Dystopia Rising. Is one person told me, if you want to get involved with plot and story and stuff, you have to play the game for at least a year and a half before your character will be powerful enough to do anything. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. That's not fun for me. And then Twin Mask, like,
System scan.
day one, game one, I was involved in story. And I think it was like game 4. Yeah, oh yeah, no, I was completely useless my first 2 games of DR, and I was like, I don't want to be completely useless. Because it's like, oh, I swing for 3 damage, and everyone else is swinging for like 6, 7, 8, and monsters have 100 health to make up for that. I'm like, oh, I'm useless here.
Frameshift
But in Twin Mask, they don't have that same power gap between veteran players and new players. They have benefit. There's benefits to being a veteran player. You kind of get you get a little more. When you've played longer, you tend to get more in depth or more involved with plot. But you also, like, there are some veteran benefits. Like, if I wanted to roll a new character because I've been playing for long enough, there's some rules that no longer are in the game that I'm grandfathered into. For example, they did a rewrite of the rulebook last year, and before that, everyone knew how to read. In fact, everyone had literacy basically given to them. There was actually a negative skill you could take, which gave you more character points to spend, called illiterate. And you took that, you got 4 more character build points, but you couldn't read. If someone handed you a book, you would go, I don't know what this means. Well, everybody who had made a character before that game was grandfathered into this and got literacy for free. Every character made after that had to buy literacy, and everyone else was illiterate. And well, if you were to roll a new character, you would automatically be illiterate. I was like, I'm not going to take that. My character needs to be able to read. He's an armor smith. He has to read his recipes. I've already played a character that's illiterate, and I didn't like that. It wasn't fun. At least for me. You'd need to be able to read the healing scrolls if you happen to use scrolls. I don't do any magic. It's funny, is like people will be like, I'm out of mana, and I'm like, take mine. I'll be like, here, take mine. And I'll be like, drain mana, drain mana, drain mana. How much mana do you have left? I never had any to begin with. And they're like, shit. So it's like my character just looks at magic and goes, I don't know what that is. Like, there's a big ritual going on, and they're like, can you help with this? And I was like, I got a stick. I can poke things. I can kill things. And then demons came out and like, now I can help.
Fuel scooping complete.
I had to sneeze. Had to sneeze. Move my mic. Mute my mic. Sneeze. No, get this. I had a character who I played who was illiterate. And do I have anything as a good example of this? I need a book. Stand by. So I had I had a book in game and a book, and instead of holding it like this, reading it, normal, I was reading it like this, like sideways, and someone goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What does it look like I'm doing?" "I'm reading." Like, this character was illiterate, but he didn't want everyone to know that he was, so he kept playing it off that he knew how to read. And at one point, someone asked, "What's the book about?" And I'm like, "Dude, you can read what it's about." And I closed the book and showed him, like, the picture, like the cover of the book had like a human skeleton on it, like a drawing of one. It's like, obviously it's a book about bones. I'm reading about bones. And went back to reading it, and this person's like, "I don't think that's how you hold a book." And I closed the book again, and I'm like, "I know how to read. Do you? Thank you, God." And went back to reading the book. Or pretending to read the book. It's like, "I know how to read. This is how you do it." And then, like, the other person walked away, and then the doctor came up, and he grabbed the book and turned it and set it down the right way. And it's like, "No, that's how you read a book." And I just looked at him, and I was like, I just kind of gave him that look if I wanted to argue, but I realized, he's a doctor. He knows what he's talking about. I was like, "Doc, just shut up and heal me."
Frame shift drive charging.
He's calling you out. Yeah, he did. But now that my character does know how to read, so get this. I one time was role-playing being very, very drunk in the tavern. We were having a little bit of a drinking competition with another person. And my one friend, my one girlfriend's brother, he walks in and says, he was on NPC shift, and his job was, part of his NPC's duty was to learn something from the town. That was the job that the staff had given him. So he comes up to me and this other character. We're pretending to be absolutely shit-faced. We're just like, and he needs to learn how to read. He's like, "Can you guys teach me how to read?" And we got a piece of paper, and I'm just like, I'm holding the pen. Instead of holding the pen like you normally would, like this, I'm just ham-fisting the pen like this on the paper, just doing this. And we taught him to read by just spelling out curse words. We're like, F U C K fuck. I mean, this other character was going back and forth, and like, her character was super, super flirty. Like, that was just her character, so she was just flirting with everyone, and she was saying all the lewd things, and I'm just like all the inappropriate, like, nastiest curse words, like all the insults you could call somebody. And we did that for about a half hour. I did that for a half hour, which was enough time to teach his character how to read. So he was fluent in curse words. Applying those reading classes. How many more jumps? 7 more jumps. Should actually be able to see that nebula here soon, maybe.
Frame shift drive charging. Three, two,
I've not been having any luck with bread the last like 2 weeks. And I made myself a burger, and partway through cooking it, I realized almost all of my buns were moldy. So I'm like, well, this one's not moldy. I'll just power through it. And I got halfway through that burger, and the bread's just.
fuel scoping.
I discovered fuel and checking stuff. Trying to figure out. Never realized how much you wanted metallic body paint until just now.
Scoping complete.
Ugh, amalgamation. Celestine? I gotta check some stuff. Let me check something before I make a comment. uh. I mean, even before, like, Jump Swinker. Jump Swinker? That's a fun game. Here we go. This is the page I was looking for. Common opinions. Oh, actually, according to this, hey, how you doing, Celestines? Celestine, common opinions of the Vakal towards Celestine Empire. Their land is the home of the Valkyrie, the warrior maidens who carry our honored dead to the halls of Taith, to revel and war. You gonna like us, bitch.
Shift drive charging.
Ah, that's a white. That's too bright. Double sin. We could make it triple sin because technically my character's married. Although, even worse, although his wife is most likely dead. Like, the whole reason why he was killing people is his wife went missing, and he was hunting her down. Like, not hunting her down, but trying to rescue her. Doc half a sin for wife's death. Plot twist, he killed his own wife.
Frame shift drive.
Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Had to then.
3, 2.
Well, the other thing, Vakal and Twin Mask are based on Viking culture. Viking culture is kind of a little bit, I believe, I could be wrong, but the Viking culture was a little bit more open with the relationships. So stuff like that is kind of not really too frowned upon. And then you look at my character's brother, who was a man whore. So I mean,
Warning. Frame shift drive operating beyond safety limits.
like, yeah, Lagatha didn't, but
Warning. Frame shift drive operating beyond safety limits.
I've watched it. She didn't, but Ragnar does get around, and even like both, like his second wife, I forget her name. She's really not okay with it, and Ragnar's not okay with the fact that his second wife also is sleeping around. But I mean, when you look at my character's Aslog. I should be able to pronounce that. I'm a Viking. Actually, I'm not a Viking. I'm a Vikinger. Get that freaking correct, dude.
Frame shift drive charging.
But no, my character's brother was like that. Like he had a woman in every port. If you watch Game of Thrones, if you kind of, my character's brother is based off of the whole Dornish lifestyle, and the guy's name is all of a sudden off it. I can't remember it. Oberyn, Prince Oberyn. Like, my character's brother is the Viking version of Prince Oberyn.
Fuel scoping.
Like, he don't give a fuck. He'll bang. He bangs. Which is why one of my rumors on my wiki page, because my character has a twin brother. Why one of the rumors is that Kazakh is actually Kazan. He just doesn't know it. Got bitches in every city. Yeah, pretty much. How many more jumps we got? 3 more jumps. Skip the fuel. We got. I would go much longer streaming tonight, but my work schedule is different this week, and I have to work tomorrow. Normally I have Tuesday, Wednesday off, but I actually have to work Tuesday, Wednesday this week, so I will be ending the stream at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, so got an hour and a half left.
Fuel scoping complete.
I think that right there's a nebula I'm flying to. And here's the really weird plot twist. Every single one of my LARP characters, while different characters, are all somehow related to each other. Or at least tied to one another. Timelines, even though time is round because clocks are round.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, that is a thing that like that my character has is like the whole he's married and he wants to be faithful to his wife, but he has been without her for so long. There's a couple of characters in town that he's kind of like getting attached to, as like they're friends, but he's like there might be something that's like I might have that. And the weird part is my alt that I'm working on is like oh, you're gonna grab your what? Oh, that's the nebula I'm going to right there. More jumps. 2 jumps.
Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete.
I'm just taking a brief moment here to read some posts on the Twin Mask LARP page.
Warning. Temperature critical.
Yeah. Cooking my ship. Next jump is our destination, and this will be the first point of interest completed.
Frameshift drive charging.
Whoa. Just fly close enough I can discover stuff. All right, that's cool. Let's plot a route. How far away is the Flytrap Nebula? No, god damn it. "17 jumps would definitely be able to make the Flytrap Nebula tonight." Oh, we gotta jump through this. Oh, this is gonna be cool.
Frameshift drive charging. 3, 2, 1. Engage. Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged. Frameshift drive charging. Three, two, one. Engage. System scan complete.
You return.
Fuel scooping.
You missed it. I made it to the first point of interest, which was a really beautiful blue and purple nebula. But for, I mean, it's not that it matters, but and I took this interesting screenshot. As I continue to fly and talk about LARP stuff.
Fuel scooping complete.
Even though I was quiet, like, you left, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna take 5, just fly the ship and relax. I actually hurt my throat during the game because I yell a lot in game. Not at people, but like, if there's danger in town, you'll know it because I'll be yelling about it.
Frameshift drive charging.
If all of my one of these days I'll do a live stream like in full garb and everything. It'll be the dumbest thing, but all my stuff is still in my car.
scoping.
I actually like, one of the things I like about streaming Elite is because I'm not doing anything, I'm doing exploration, so it's boring to watch, but this actually is a good opportunity for me to talk about LARP stuff and things like that. And it's like, I can just pilot my ship and mindlessly blah 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 and answer questions. Hint hint, ask questions.
Frameshift drive charging. Three, two,
Ah. I'm just sitting back now, relaxing, piloting my ship.
fuel scoping.
Hopefully the weather isn't rainy tomorrow because it sucked today. It was cold on the way home from work.
Fuel scoping complete.
Yeah, I'm driving my car tomorrow. It's gonna be cold in the morning, and it's going to be windy when I go home, and I don't want to ride in the cold and wind. So, even though I still have almost all of I got the stuff that can't stay in there out of there, but I still have a ton of LARP stuff in my car, like my tent, my cooler, all of my garb. My weapons I brought in, but I think, yeah, my shields are still in there. I even have food. Like, I left my bag of food in there. It's like, oh, it's crackers. They're not gonna, chips and crackers and stuff. It's stuff that's not gonna get all mucked up if I leave it in the car for a couple days.
Fuel scoping.
Because I came home from game and I'm like, I don't want to unpack my car yet. It takes too long, too much energy, and things I don't have.
Fuel scope disengaged.
But yeah, if you're just tuning in, playing Elite Dangerous and talking about my LARP experience, especially at last weekend's Twin Mask in Southern California. So that's going on. That's what's happening. And then chat got really, really quiet.
Fuel scoping.
11 more jumps to the Flytrap Nebula.
Fuel scoping.
That probe will never impact.
Warning. Temperature critical.
Just fire a random probe into the star. Ooh, speaking of firing things into star, or probes into stars. EDSM. Oh, damn. The expedition that I'm on, which is 1,300 or not 13,000 players strong. It's been going on for 106 days.
Frameshift drive charging.
We've made 4,692,798 jumps. I'll get to that question in a minute. 634,273,753 light years. Total distance traveled. 3,000 people have died, and 1,000 people have self-destructed. Damn. What other experiences did I have this weekend? In character or out of character? Because there was really, like, I was part of 2 mods on my NPC shift that were both just, like, one of them was really fun because I got to be just, I mostly only talked in grunts, in growls, but I was just like, Captain, I will fight for you. I will win for you. Like, I was an angry, like, I was like, if this is the bar right here, like, I was this close to killing everybody on my NPC shift. Like, my NPC that I was playing was that close to killing everybody. The only reason why he wasn't is because his captain told him not to. But he was like, sword in hand, shield up, ready to swing, which was a lot of fun. And then ended up doing we were mercenaries, and another NPC character, might have been a player character, I don't know, but the character had paid us 200 gold, which is a lot of money, to protect him. Except for after he paid us the gold turned to mushrooms. Totally worthless. So we wanted our money. My lord. Greetings as well. We're talking about LARP stuff while exploring on this world's expedition here. So we ended up settling it by having an honor duel, and he picked 3 people to represent him. The captain basically sent the 3 other people, the 3 of us, to fight. We ended up losing, but it was very, very close. Like, the PCs were all on their last bit of health when we all died. Like, the one guy even says, like, yeah, I was out of armor and 1 hit away from death. And that was a lot of fun because I got to, like, just be an angry fighter and fight harder and without care of dying. Like, I didn't care if I died. Like, my character didn't care, but it was less important. Like, death wasn't as impending of a threat as it is for, like, my PC or my character. So I was like, I don't care if I die. I'm an NPC. And then later we went out as, I was a student, and it was the same 3 of us. I was a student from a place called Adicium, which is supposed to be like these highly, like, really, these people who study a lot of stuff. And we had the professor who, he was just the biggest number math nerd you can think of. And it helped this guy actually has, like, I believe he has a deep education in mathematics and stuff. Because before we went out, like, the person running the mod's like, well, explain something, nerdy to me. And the guy just goes on, like, this 5-minute college professor level rant about mathematics. And the guy's like, that was 10 times... It's like, the Cobra isn't the fastest ship in the game. I think we had this conversation a couple months ago, and my ship is faster than your Cobra. Oh. I actually think the fastest ship in the game And I mean, if you cheese it a bit, you can get the DBX, the ship I'm up in. It's some ridiculous speeds, but the fastest ship I want to say is the Imperial Eagle. There's another one that's faster, but I can't remember what it is. But people are getting like, my stats are. Whoop, wrong button. That's just gonna be, yeah, that's the only stats I can pull up, unless there's more. I don't remember where they're all at. They changed the menu again on me, and I don't. Nah.
Frameshift drive charging.
I mean, also this character had like this. So we went out and we're like hyping. We're like this hype guys, and he had all these names that rhymed that we had to memorize, and had a whole like he had a number off. And then we sat in the tavern for like an hour teaching people mathematics. It was hilarious. No, you can't.
Disengaged.
What? Did I just... Did I just fly through a star? Did I just fly through a star?
Warning. Temperature critical.
I should probably point the ship in a different direction. Flying through the stars like my sword. My ship cost a lot. I don't remember because it's been a long time since I built it. And now I'm like, I'm trying to make a clip of that. There we go. You're not, though. And here's how you're not faster. If we were to set a distance between, if we were to go between two stars, right? Or not two stars. If we were to go between 2 points, we had multiple jumps, I can make more jumps faster than you can. Because I have a greater jump range.
Frameshift drive charging.
If you want to try that, if you want to sit there and say you're faster, let's race. Come get me. Come race me. If you think you can, come prove it. I'm 3/4 of the way to Beagle Point. Here's where I'm at, right here. You're probably somewhere over there. You got some catching up to do.
Fuel scoping complete.
Well, see, there's your problem. You also play on PS4. Boom. I don't really play much on console. Like, I have an Xbox, I just never use it.
Fuel scoping.
I should do that one of these days, dust it off and actually play something on it.
Fuel scoping complete.
How many more jumps we got? 5 more jumps. And it is 9 o'clock, so about another hour. I'm pretty far. Like I said, I just put up the map. We're reaching Beagle Point here soon. And again, if we bring this up,
Fuel scoping complete. Warning, temperature critical.
no, the purpose of this game, I mean, make sure my ship's not about to catch on fire, and I got something stuck in my eye. My glasses fucked up. Elite Dangerous allows you to do a lot. They basically gave you the entire Milky Way galaxy, as you can see here, and almost you can go anywhere. Any of these stars you can visit, right? But if you want to be a trader, you can build a cargo ship. You can build cargo ships, and you can sell and trade goods. You can be an explorer like I'm doing and just fly around and do all kinds of stuff. You can be a combat person and fight things. Where's the... You can be combat and fight people, fight Really, Beagle Point is its own. So that's Beagle Point. We're eventually gonna go there. Woohoo! You're having trouble locating an engineer. Any tips? Yeah, if you go to your side panel. I always forget my buttons. There's a button right there. Brings them up, and then you can just click on them, and there's a button that shows view on galaxy map. But you have to have done all the prerequisites to get invited to that engineer before you can do that.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh, it's quite a ways to the Beagle Point, but we're a lot closer today than we were yesterday.
Fuel scoping.
You've told me your speed, and I've got ships. Well, I've had ships that are faster, and I've seen ships that are faster. Your speed is nothing. You're in a Cobra. My next ship is going to specifically have drag munitions because I'm a dick.
Fuel scoping.
One more jumps. 2 more jumps. Cool. Make sure I've got a full tank of fuel.
Fuel scoping complete.
Yeah, there's
Drive charging.
you haven't had people. You've had NPCs, and NPC ships tend to not be. Well, my mouse wheel is broken. Tend not to be very powerful ships. Is 9 times out of 10 if there's no point in sending a message back. It's an NPC. It can't read. If a PC were to pull you out, they're not going to demand cargo. They're just going to kill you. I'm going to make sure I've got a full tank of fuel.
Fuel scoping complete.
That's the nebula we're flying to.
Frameshift drive charging. Three, two, one. Engage.
I'm still hurt from the weekend. I have not taken enough Tylenol. They don't make enough Tylenol. Oh, hello.
System scan complete.
Whoop! I just zipped right past a black hole. All the Tylenol. It's like I want to get close to it. It's just not too close, you know? Oh, this is getting trippy. When orbit line's on so I can see the exclusion zone. Why did I not get I did not get a orbit line letting me know I was too close. And Dogman's on a ghost story. The black hole is there. 25 kilometers? Kilometers. Because I'm definitely way... If that's 25 kilometers, I'm way too damn close to this thing. That's gotta be like... kilometers. Have a gift. You're quite in tune? What? No, I do not. This is breaking my brain. Black holes hurt.
Frameshift drive charging. 3, 2, 1. Engage. Warning. Temperature critical.
What's Lone Star? Lone Star. I've seen a lot of weird shit, and I just kind of don't care anymore. So this star that I'm gonna plot the route to next, we're definitely not gonna make it tonight, is the furthest, according to EDSM, the furthest known point that a stock Sidewinder reached prior to the Jumponium and Engineering era. The ship's 11-week journey across the galaxy began in January 3301 and was concluded in March 3301 when it reached the southern edge of the abyss. 58,770 light years from Sol, and was unable to go any further due to its limited FSD range. So that's a neat little thing. How many jumps is it going to take us to get there? 64 jumps. Definitely not getting there tonight.
Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scoping.
5 bodies? Blech.
Fuel scoping complete.
And now I got a spammer on the frickin' one of the discords. Fantastic. Yeah, scoop the fuel. And zip away. How many more jumps? What was it, like 67 jumps? 66 jumps.
Frameshift drive charging.
Here we go.
Three, two, engage. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoop disengaged.
That was fun.
Frameshift
Someone on
drive
one of the
charging.
discords just decided to start spamming random shit. And fun times, fun times. And we're gonna be going for about another hour of flying and talking LARP stuff. Although the LARP conversation's kind of died off because no one's asked anything and I don't know what to talk about. Tylenol though, I didn't take one this morning, so I'm gonna take one now. I'm gonna fly to another star.
Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete.
I think we'll do a couple more jumps. It's already 9:20. We'll do a couple more jumps, find someplace to land, and then I don't know. We'll go from there.
Three, two,
You're helping your kid sister with homework? See, I don't have that problem. I don't have siblings. Even though I do, but I don't. I don't have to worry about them.
Scoping. System scan. scoping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Three, two, one, engage.
Where the aliens go blessings. So there are aliens in Elite Dangerous. They were recently introduced, and they are. They are. Hold on a second. I'm gonna. Notifications. I got a notification. Oh. They're not anywhere near where I'm at, and as I said earlier, this is an exploration ship. It has no shields, has very little armor, and has no weapons. It is stripped down to be able to jump as far as it can between stars. However, I do occasionally skip playing the exploration side of this thing and actually go into there's a combat mode you can go into,
Fuel scoping complete.
since you can't just teleport your ship anywhere. Wherever your ship is at is where you are at in game. Oh, not too close.
Hull integrity compromised.
So if I wanted to actually do any combat, I could go to the CQC mode, but not gonna do that right now. Gonna find some place to land soon. What the hell, am I not getting... Oh, did I turn off notifications? Because it's like a new follower 2 hours ago, but it didn't give me that notification anywhere. No, those still work. Huh.
Frameshift drive charging.
I forgot how much ship kicks around when I do that.
2, 1, engage. Temperature critical.
Ugh. I'm just checking to see if... Nope, no pictures have been posted other than the other ones. So. No other photos have been posted from the Twin Mask game yet.
Fuel scoping.
It usually takes them a couple days anyways. They go through, and I know one of the guys who takes pictures actually edits them, like color balances and all. It makes them look really fancy, so.
Fuel scoping complete. Frameshift drive charging.
We'll make a couple more jumps and then we'll settle down for the night. Ooh.
Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete.
Alright, what else? We're gonna run their scanners. Find some stuff, see what's here. And everything's blocked by the star or at this star over here. Alright, now I lost the planet that I'm trying to fly to. There it is. Technically, I'm about to blast things. I'm about to shoot this little moon with probes. Still not close enough. That's a tiny little moon.
Surface scan by 50%. Surface scan complete.
0.1 G? No no volcanism, no atmosphere. And it's tidally locked, so wherever we land, it should always be pointing at the sun. Which I kind of like doing that, just because I know these ships don't have solar panels, but I do like to think that they at least can get some energy thermally. At least help keep them warm, since I painted it black.
Orbital flight engaged.
Interesting looking mountain range over there. We'll go land near the mountain range. And honestly, I feel like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I feel like the ped is finally starting to set in, you know? try and land like on the top of this mountain range right here. The last person I ran into was back on April 7th. So. Gear down.
Landing gear deployed.
I actually don't think there's anywhere I'm gonna be able to really land in this area, but we'll see.
Module prepared. Module prepared. Module prepared. Module prepared. Module prepared.
Oh, neat, with the sensors offline, that's what that does, okay. Dune buggy time!
Low gravity warning.
Alright, just do one cursory sweep around the ship. Careful not to point the scanner at the ship, so we don't inadvertently read that. Alright, let's check out what's over here.
Drive assist off. Drive assist on.
That's something on the scanner. Wah! Yep. Getting closer to it. Don't even see it on the... Oh, there it is. An outcrop, okay. Go over there and blast the shit out of that.
Cargo scoop deployed.
Now let's venture back up this hill. Following my tire tracks. Full tilt. Should put tire tracks down there. I was overshot a lot. Ah! Came in way too fast on that jump there. Yes, I'm now trying to jump this dune buggy and land it on top of my ship. Too fast. Bump. Alright, now, one more time, and then I'm just going to park this thing and call it a night. Hey, I did it! I got up here. Kuna Matata. Am I a beagle yet? No, I'm working on getting there. I just got back. I took a couple of days off, a week off of playing Elite. Just got back from a LARP event last weekend. Kind of been chatting about that while I dick around here with my SRV. I'm about to wrap up for the night since it is almost 10 o'clock. That can't be good for my engine. I was about 4 waypoints behind, so I went back to Sagittarius 8 and started jumping towards Colonia. I could do 37 jumps before needing to refuel. And don't you have, like, nothing but fuel tanks on your ship? And aren't you in an Orca? With, like, nothing but fuel tanks? Oh, an Anaconda. I was talking to somebody else the other day, and I think they said they had an Orca with an outrageous number of fuel tanks. Dropped my SRVs and fighters. Of course, I got distracted with photos along the way. Some pink space pumpkins. Actually, I'm about to wrap it up a little 10 minutes early here, just so I can go to the bathroom, take a shower, and get ready for bed, since I'm actually, like, I'm at that point where it's like, tired. So, where are my buttons to do? Go poop. I already did that. So, and that I also have work tomorrow for, like, one of the rare times I have to work on a Tuesday, Tuesday, so. We'll be back Thursday with more Elite Dangerous, and talking whatever else happens to come up. Friday we'll be doing Run 8, and then, I don't know, there won't be a stream Saturday or Sunday, so we'll be back, so Monday, but, definitely be back. Well, definitely be back in the seat here Thursday. Same time. Till then, follow me on Twitter at KazakF. I'm trying to make a point of being more active on there. Or if you're friends with me on Discord, feel free to message me about stuff. You know who I'm talking to. You know who I'm talking about. Because I'm about to message you. Be like, alright, let's talk shop. And until then, I'm Kaz. Out.